Hello and welcome to Jennifer Knatters. I am Jennifer and this is my video podcast where I go on about all the things I've been crafting this week, having a wee natter, a bit of a blether. I'm so tired. I'll get to that later. I'm really tired, so I'm sorry. I'm probably going to just be a bit scattered is really the only word for it. This is episode 67. Today is the 20th of June, 2021. And as you can probably see, it is a lovely, glorious, sunny day here in Inverness. There's an airplane going overhead right now. I apologize if you can hear that. The windows are open. My children are temporarily missing. They went outside to play and it's very quiet out there. They're playing with the across the street neighbors is where they'll be. Hello, if you're a new viewer, I'm gonna be a bit scatty this week. I am really just so tired. If you're a returning viewer, you will know that me being so tired or so out of sorts or so loopy, it's usually one thing or the other. But thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy what you see and you can hang out with me for a while. This really means a lot to me. I tried recording last week on the Thursday and I got everything set up. I got myself kind of pretty. I wrote out my show notes. I set out all of my stuff, which I haven't actually done this week. I haven't organized it. It's just all dumped in one big pile next to me on the seat. You can't see that hand. And then everything happened and I didn't have a chance to record, and I actually wound up crying on and off for almost 2 days because I was so sad, so disappointed that I didn't get to do that, and frustrated and everything. So this really means a lot to me. Like, this is my social connection with the world in a lot of ways right now, especially the knitting community. And yeah, I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the thought that someone else might enjoy it. I'm trying not to say I had been doing things in a slightly different order so that I was talking about projects because I've got some ongoing knit-alongs that I'm participating in. But I think this week I will start with a finished object, and not just a finished object, but a sewing finished object. I made myself a dress. This is actually the second dress I made. When we get to live stuff, I'll talk about what my kids have been doing, but they had a class in Hilton, which is fairly close to it's really close to the Wee Fabric shop here in Inverness. So while they were doing the class, I walked over and bought things, is the short version of that. I got a serger for my husband and my anniversary, which was almost a month ago, our 10th anniversary. And I needed thread for the serger, so I went to the sewing shop and I may have bought a few other things, including, this is a different dress, same pattern. This rayon challis to make the Lotta dress by Tilly and the Buttons. My facing's just flipping up a bit. It is sewn down in the shoulder seams. And you might say, hey, that looks almost exactly like the fabric of the dress you're currently wearing. And you would not be wrong, but it's different enough, and I liked them both. This is the pattern. It is the slightly expanded range, but they are now working on expanding it even further. So this goes up the size 10. Lists as a UK 24. I tend to wear a 22, and I am out of, here's the sizes. You can have a quick gain. I did the size 10, and the pattern has a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So I just let it out to like a 1/4 inch seam allowance to make sure it was going to fit. The full bust measurement, what was the full bust measurement? My full bust is 52 inches. The full bust for this is 48 inches, but is meant to be worn with a lot of positive ease. my upper bust is 47, so like the shoulders and everything, that's a good fit. But it's meant to have a lot of positive ease through the torso, so I figured it would work. Ooh, butterfly just went by. So I bought the fabric and they made up a kit for me, so it had a little bit of the stabilizer for the facing and the elastic and the thread and the pattern and everything. And I made the Lotta dress, which I don't yet have a video of me wearing, but I hope to get. The only thing is when I did the sleeves, I serged them and then turned them over, and they're kind of fluttering. They're sticking up a little. So I tightened up the tension on the serger stitches because I think that was part of the problem, and I just need to unpick that and redo it. And I haven't yet hemmed the bottom. I just serged the raw edge. But I made myself a cute floaty dress that I really, really like. So much so, in fact, that then I went on Minerva Fabrics because they were having a sale, and I got this, which is a stretchy, an ITY, which is lightly stretchy. It's only a 15% stretch, whereas most of the fabrics I have that are for stretch material for jerseys call for like a 50%, 45, 50, 60% stretch. And the Lotta dress is made for both wovens and stretch fabrics, so I thought it would work really well for this. And yes, that means I made myself basically two dresses that are a lot the same. This one I did, I mean, it has a slightly different neckline because it is a jersey, but I did the shorter length on this one. I don't know if you can see, that's the longer one, and then there's the shorter one. And both of them have short sleeves because it is hot. It is hot out. See, I'm really tired. But yes, I have sewn two dresses and I'm really proud of myself, and I will try to get a video of me wearing them in the garden. I don't have a tripod. My pad is on a stack of books. It is on a stack of books, and then it has a stack of books behind it to keep it from just falling shut. So I need to get someone to film me, and that is not my husband's strong suit, but maybe I can get my 8-year-old. We'll see. Yes, so I have sewn two dresses. I have not yet done the sleeves or the hem on this one. Jersey, the knit fabrics don't unravel, so you can leave them raw edged. It was just the one thing I didn't have time. I think I hear children. I just hadn't had time to do that in the time I had. That made sense. I didn't have time to do it in the time I had. Good job, Jennifer. I am working on looking at the camera and not at the screen. My pad broke back in May. No, it didn't break. It was just getting obsolete, so we got a new one, and it's slightly bigger. I had the mini and now I've got a larger one, and so the camera is further from the image of my face, and I tend to look at myself when I'm talking because that creates part of the whole like illusion that I'm talking to someone, but I'm trying to talk to the camera. I put a sticker there last time so I can look at the sticker, which is the camera, and then it doesn't look like I'm staring all over the place instead of looking. But anyway, if I'm not making eye contact, if my eye contact is all weird, it's because I'm looking at myself probably. I have another finished object. This one you've seen me working on. It is my Love Note by Tin Can Knits, and this is I knit it with Old Maiden Aunt Merino Single in the colorway pink, that's PYNK, and Fiber Space Cumulus in the color Ruby Red. So they're held double. One skein was slightly darker than the others, which I didn't quite realize, and that's the skein that's at the top, and then the other ones have more, I think, of the speckling effect. I like it. It fits well. It's comfortable. It is now too warm to wear it. But I did want a red kind of cropped jumper to wear with my dungarees. I've been wearing a lot of dungarees lately. I bought a bunch of dungarees this last year, and they're super comfortable and they're wonderful. But I prefer to wear my jumpers under the dungarees so I can go toilet, and the crop lengths fit better. So that is part of what this is meant to be. And also, if I'm now making myself dresses, it is a good length to wear over dresses. So yeah, obviously it doesn't particularly go with the purples I'm wearing today, but I'm super excited to have finished this. It does knit up really quickly. Ta-da! It looks a bit weird, but it fits fine. It looks fine when you're wearing it. So yeah, I am super proud and happy. And it's soft and fuzzy. And I will also need to put in some pictures of me wearing it. May or may not happen this time. I do have a picture, but you can't see like the full body. It's just, I took a picture in the mirror in the bathroom, so you can see like about what you can see of me here. So that is, oops, didn't mean to knock it over, my 3 finished objects for the month. I guess next up is, well, let's do socks next. I told you I'm not even the least bit organized. Sharon of the SCR1TNO Knitting Podcast, which is another video podcast here on YouTube, is running a stripy sock knit along for the year. And each month there are a commercial and a couple indie dyers. And if you knit them, you get 2 entries and then along, and if you knit anything else, you get 1 entry. So like if I don't finish socks this week or this month, I can enter them in next month. They still count, they're just not a double entry. There's another airplane overhead. I kind of liked the part of lockdown where no airplanes flew overhead. One of the indie dyers for July, this is July, is Laura the Lonely Knitter and her yarns, Bumbling Yarns, which is on her Crafter's Balm website, which all gets a bit complicated, but it is Laura the Lonely Knitter, and she is doing she's doing 2 sock clubs, and they alternate, so each one is available for 2 months offset. And this was the January-February one, which is, all of them are 1 stripe plain and then 1 stripe whatever the colors are. So this was the January-February colorway, which is all these lovely purples. This month, it's the first of the 2 months that the club is available, is another purple one, but she did explain it is a different purple, and it's got pinks and blue flashes in it, and it comes with either a pink or blue mini if you would like. I did bring, where did I put the mini? I know I brought it. I told you I was not organized. I'm very sorry. I brought the mini for this and now I don't know where it is. But the purple is the coordinating mini that I got to go with the ball. And I've just turned the heel and I'm working on the gusset decreases on the second sock. I did do a little yarn bossing on this to get this stripe to come in at the right spot, because at this point, you can kind of see a little better here, you knit back and forth on the heel. So it was, on the round where it changed to purple, I started going back and forth to do the heel, and then it goes into the white, and then it was the purple on the cuff, and then you can see here is where I joined the yarn. So when the purple turned back to white, that one's a helicopter. I pulled out, still a helicopter overhead. My airspace is very noisy today. It's getting brighter, so I apologize if things get too bright. I pulled out a section of the white, and we'll continue doing the purple, which with the slightly longer rounds, I mean, this one is it's 2 rows longer on one side, but it's the same width on the other side, so it doesn't look too out of place. and then it went back into the white. When I got down to the toe, I was in the white again, which is what I wanted after the purple. So I took the white I had pulled out on the other side and put it in to make up the first white stripe so that they would be as close to identical as hand knitted socks can be. I'm sorry, I've suddenly hit a wave of exhaustion. But yes, I love this yarn. It's really soft and plump and squidgy, and these are going to be so soft and comfortable to wear when they are finished. And I'm kind of feeling a bit burned out on the stripy sock knit along. Like, I want to knit plain socks or pattern socks in solid colors and things like that. But I have this yarn in my stash that I was saving for the month of July. And I feel like I have something else that I was saving for next month, but right now I can't think of what it is, except in terms of acquisitions, which I'll go ahead and throw this acquisition in right now, because it is a stripy sock acquisition. Something just went thunk out front, which is no doubt children. Oh, I have, and this is Stripy Sock Club yarn number 1. And I believe it's yarn number 4 is the current one. Yes, my children are coming in. I heard the front door. Let's see if I can get the acquisition in really quick. I ordered some Fab Funky Fibers, who do incredible self-striping yarns in so many colors. And I got Higher Love in the petite stripes. And then I got the big one, which has all the colors. And these are both 50-gram skeins. I can knit a pair of stripy socks with contrast heel cuffs and toes in 50 grams. So I got 2 50-gram ones. These were, I think they're about 18 pounds each, which is what I would expect to pay for a 100-gram ball of a regular sock yarn. But because it's all the extra stripes, they cost more. It's a lot of work, so they're more expensive. So I have these. And I am very, 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 very excited. So I may do at least one more month of, I'm not looking at the camera, at least one more month of stripy socks in a row, because I'm very excited to cast these on. Very excited. And if you are in the EU, the AC Knitwear is selling, they are listed for selling things to the EU from the UK. And they are selling some Fab Funky Fiber socks and some Old Maiden Ant yarn so that people in the EU can buy them, because neither Fab Funky Fibers nor Old Maiden Ant can set up for the EU thing. It's a whole big hassle if you're not aware, and very expensive and a lot of paperwork. And so a lot of small UK, like micro businesses, that's these one-person yarn dyer businesses often are, 1 or 2 person businesses. It's just too much and they can't do it. So AC Knitwear is selling some Fab Funky Fibers, and I'm very tempted to buy more. But then I thought, well, I will wait and see if people from the EU who can't get it from the regular website need it. And now I'm just waiting, like trying to decide it's a lot of money, but it's beautiful sock yarn. But it's a lot of money, but it's beautiful sock yarn. So that's where I'm in on that. But I have 2 50-gram skeins. On AC Knitwear, they only have the 100-gram skeins or sets where it's like 80 grams in it. Anyway, I have 2 of the 50-gram skeins, and I'm very excited to use them. I'm so excited to use them. I'm so tired right now, but I really am very excited about that yarn. Speaking of AC Knitwear, they're doing a 3rd year of Techniques Confident Knitter, a 3rd year of Techniques, and each month there is a technique and a project to support it. And this month's technique is Vickle braids, which is a type of, it's knitting so that your stitches go horizontally instead of vertically. And the pattern is a mitten using Old Maiden Ant yarn. I didn't get the kit for this quarter, but I do have a mitten in progress that uses a Vickle braid, and this is the, I think it's Boughton. Let me just check my notes. Broughton with an R. Broughton? I still don't know. It is a convertible mitten. Oh, that needle is not actually on the stitches. I knit this a while back because my current my lined convertible knitted mittens did not survive the end of this last winter. So I started this pair and I got this far and then I set it aside. And I think I mentioned I was starting it, but I know I didn't talk about the fact that I had finished one and I don't even remember when it was. I had knit it. So this is the main part of the mitten, and then I've got the purple yarn to knit the lining in, and these are all Rama yarns. The lining is this one, and then the main body are these ones. I got the yarns from Isolde when I ordered the yarn for the pullover I knit for my friend for Christmas that I gave her at Easter time. But I had a gift card and the yarn for that did not exceed the gift card for the jumper. And so I added the yarn to make these mitts to kind of fill it out. Look at that cute little thumb. The thumb. I don't know if you can see the thumb. I need to weave in the ends on this and then I need to knit the lining and I need to do the second one. I don't know. I'm going to look at the camera so I can see what it's showing. You can kind of see it's the purple and the green and they're going sideways instead of up and down. I believe this straightens out a bit when I do the lining because you pick up the stitches from the braid. So yes, this is what I have for the project. It is the 20th of July and I have not worked on it yet. It is not a good project for out and about knitting, and I've done a lot of out and about knitting this month. It has mostly been the socks is what I've worked on. And then at home, I finished the jumper and I've done some sewing and have largely just been tired. Running around after my kids all the time, sitting and wearing a mask while they're doing things is very exhausting for me. Oh, there was also a night I had to take my youngest one to A&E. I'd forgotten about that. So I was at home at midnight from that. She's fine. She'd hurt her foot and wasn't standing on it. Anytime she tried to walk on it, she wound up screaming. So I took her to A&E and they did x-rays and it's not broken. It was just hurt. And she had a miraculous recovery in time to go swimming the next day, having milked it all morning. And been like, oh, you have to carry me, Mama, carry me. And then at lunchtime, suddenly she was like, I can walk again. Oh, it's sore, but I can do it. And then she was running like 15 minutes later. I do believe her. She was really hurt. She really was. Like, she'd been sitting most of the day, and then like she'd try to go to the toilet and she'd stand up and she was screaming because it hurt so much. So she did hurt it, not broken. Long night at the A&E. In a mask, and I find wearing masks to be very, very stressful. I get really hot and I can't breathe really well, and I don't know. I'm not complaining about wearing masks from I don't think we should wear them. We absolutely should, and it's a thing we have to do. I just get really out of sorts when I do. So that's where I'm going with that. I'm so tired. This is the tissue the Fab Funky Fibers came in. I finished the May colors, which came in June, for my Habitation throw in the Giddy Yarns Marvelous Monthly Minis. These are the 20 gram DK, 5 20 gram DK minis that I'm doing for the year. I think I've done a video where I showed you I got the yarns and then I showed I was halfway through, but that is the end of the April ones, and here are the May ones. I finished this a while ago, but I didn't want to work on it. I do have, I'll try to do this without flashing my address, which I have done before. And then I had to, oh, sorry, tissue paper. These are the June colors. So it'll go dark blue into the dark blue and then into all these teals. And then I think from here it's going into like oranges and yellows. I know we already have some oranges and yellows, but we already have some blues and teals at the bottom. They are different colors. The blues and teals in there are not the blues and teals down here. But I am trusting the process, and I will have a large pseudo rainbow blanket after I do the June ones. This next, the set I just showed you, that's going to be the size of my square, and then I'll go back in, so it'll be 6 months out, 6 months in, a 1-year blanket. And it's at the very least going to be a very nice size for putting here on the settee in the conservatory. I'll probably go right here where I currently only have a blanket. I normally put something knitted there, but obviously I am not with it enough to have thought of that until just now. We can pretend this blanket is here, because this blanket is so pretty, and it's lovely and soft and squishy, and the pattern is super easy. It is available on Etsy. Ta-da! So yes, that is my Marvelous Monthly minis, and now I can catch that up. And I'm also getting the scrappy packs from Penny Makes, and we're up through, started off with pink, red, orange, yellow, green, and the color for July is going to be teal. I have finally figured out what I'm doing with those. I think, if not last time, the time before, I'd shown you that I was knitting a northeasterly blanket, so I'd done the strip of the pinks for the northeasterly blanket, and then I kind of stalled because like I have some pinks where I can do the next couple of strips, but I don't have that many reds, and I don't have that many oranges, and I don't have that many yellows. So I've decided what I'm going to do is just do each of these packs in their own strip, and then like I can do some pinks and add them on, and if I've got enough pinks, then I can knit a row where it's joining the pink row to the red row, or I can seam them up later, whichever seems like it's going to be less faff at the time. So I'm just going to do the strips of the rainbows and then worry about the rest later. That's my great solution, but you would not believe how long it took me to come up with that. And then I have a new cast on, which is the Green Machine pullover shirt. It's like a summer top, which is a free pattern on Knitty, and I am knitting it in my Lithuanian linen from Midwinter Yarns. These are the backs of the shoulders and then the back of the neck, and I'm at the point now where I am just knitting for many inches. So as you can see, I'm not very far into it. I had swatched, I think it was back in May, I'd done my swatch. Linen is not the most fun to knit with. Plant fibers, they soften up beautifully and wear beautifully, but they don't feel very nice when they're new. They can be very crisp, and so my fingers hurt if I do too much. And if I'm not like, I do a lot of knitting while I watch like things on my pad, podcasts or Netflix or whatever it is I'm watching, and I kind of have to be paying enough attention to this to see if I've missed a stitch or split a stitch, or it's just, for what it is a high brain power knitting. But I am making the top. It's the top and it has a little lace panel around the bottom. And yeah, it'll be a bit see-through. Ta-da! But that's fine. It's the kind of thing that if it's hot, I won't care. I will just wear like a sports bra under it. And if it's a little bit cooler, then I'll wear a camisole under it. It'll be fine either way. But this is the kind of weather where you think I would really like. I've just hung it up on the table under the pad. I would really like a knit linen top. That seems really cool. I'm just gonna have a quick look at my notes, which I wrote a week ago, so I don't even remember what it was. Oh, are you still on the floor here? You fell on the floor. Yes, you did. I have one more finished object that I forgot, which is my Not Just Another Gnome, which was the May knit along. There's an option for a tassel on the top, which I am leaving that option open. I think it looks really cute. I just forgot to do it. And then I thought, well, if I don't do it, I'm done. And if I do it, then I'm not done. So for now, it's done. This is Not Just Another Gnome, which is the Imagine Landscape. She has a bunch of known problems, known patterns. Wow, that was, it's got a cute little textured beard. Can you see the textured beard? There. Textured beard, this textured cable, which goes down the sides. My 8-year-old voted when it was still a mystery knit along, the pre-orders, the suggestion was for a gradient. And my 8-year-old wanted me to do it in a pink gradient. And I came up with the pink, the really pale pink, and the purple was a set of minis along with a green and a blue from Laura the Lonely Knitter, Bumbling Yarns. And it's a very cute, springy little gnome. My hat is flipping up slightly, which is my fault. And for some reason, this arm is pointing. It had been laying flat, and then I pulled the yarns to the back to weave them in, and now the arm is sticking out. But I feel like the gnome is pointing the way. And the only thing I did differently was I did make the arms slightly longer so they come down to where the cable splits, whereas the patterns suggested they stop like up here above the beard, which I thought was just not proportionally long enough for my gnome. So yeah, this is Nathan, Not Just Another Gnome. Nathan likes outdoor activity and leads hiking trips. Because when you live in, the nose seems a bit squint, when you live in a toadstool, you want to get out as much as you can in the summer and not be cooped up inside. So, Nathan. So yeah, I have another gnome. I'll put you over here for now. Don't fall off. I ran out of, I put beans, dried beans in the bottom of my knits to make them stand up so they have weighted bottoms, and I ran out of beans, so the bottom isn't quite as weighted as it should be. So Nathan is a little unsteady on their feet. See, I just said you would not believe how many I had to pull out of the last episode, and I left the uhs in because they're more of a flowing conversational thing, but I did pull the ums out. Sewing. No, I think that's all for crafty content. So we can go on to kind of life stuff, family stuff. See, I'm trying not to say so I said I'm so tired. We are on week 4 of the summer holidays. We did a week, the kids were in a week of gymnastics, which is the only class I was able to get them both in the same, they're 4 years apart. I've got a 4.5-year-old and an 8.5-year-old. So they're 4 years apart. And that means pretty much every class, they're in 2 different classes. Not saying not saying not saying So they did trampolini, which is not trampolini, gymnastics the first week. And that was 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it was a 90-minute class. And the parents were not allowed to stay in the building or anything. So I walked, the first day I walked to the Wee Fabric shop and I got the Lotta dress kit and I got thread for my serger. Sorry about that. Don't remember quite where I was. My children were at gymnastics. I walked to the yarn shop. I had to get yarn. That's what I did. I called it yarn, but it is thread for my serger. And then of course I also bought a kit to make a dress. And I also bought fabric to make a knit top now that I have a serger for the cashmerette. Trying to think what it's Concord. The Concord tee is the stretch tee. I bought red fabric when Catherine was 2, and then she stopped like that day walking home from the Way Fabric shop was the last time she took a nap, because she used to do toddler gymnastics at Hilton. And so one day I took her to the fabric shop afterwards, after her class. That was the last time she took a nap as a 2 and a month old, I think, at that point. So I couldn't use her naps to do sewing things like laying out patterns and tracing and cutting fabric and things like that. So it is washed and folded and put away, and I just need to wash it again because it's been a while, and I'll use that as my test one. And then the one I got was hearts, all different like rainbow hearts, and I think that'll make a really cute tee as well. And I'm gonna make the crop top again so I can wear it under my dungarees. And then I went back and just sat outside on a bench waiting for them to be done. And that is what I did the following 2 days, which is how I knit the first sock of my stripy socks. The first sock knit very quickly because I sat listening to podcasts for 90 minutes for 2 of the days. And like each day I did, 1, 2, 3, like 5 stripes. I got so much done that week. And then on the Friday, we went out to Dors, which is a little town on the close shore of Loch Ness. We got a taxi out to Dors, and it was so beautiful. I mean, it was just the most gorgeous day you could ever want. It was sunny, it was warm, it wasn't windy. It's a rock beach, so that part's less than ideal, but the water was calm. It was so cold. Oh my gosh, Loch Ness is so cold. But it was hot enough that it felt good. Like it was worth sticking your toes in and letting your feet adjust a bit. And there was a fair amount of people at the beach. Oh, now I can hear the kids outside again. There's a fair amount of people at the beach, but the beach is big enough that like most of the crowding was at the end by the parking area. So we just went further down the beach. There's a little playground there. There's the Doors Inn. We had lunch in their outdoor, like they built a big tent thing. What do they call them here? They do them for weddings. And they put up a canopy. I think in the US you'd call it a pavilion. Just not going to come up with that word. But we had lunch outside under the cover, so it was in the shade, which was really nice because it was really hot and sunny. And just had a really good day. It was wonderful. I liked it a lot. My children did come home saying they'd rather go to Nairn, which is, we can take the train out to Nairn, and they've got really nice sand beaches there and a little play park and everything, which is what we wound up doing yesterday, and is why I am so tired. Oh my goodness. The sun came out in the afternoon, like right around lunchtime, the sun came out, and then it got really crowded there. Not so much on the beach, but the play park area got so crowded. It was super uncomfortable being there. But we stayed on the beach and we went swimming in the water. By swimming, I mean wading. And it was just a great day. We were there with friends. We met up at the train station, took the train out together, walked to the beach, played together, had lunch together, went back to the beach, walked back to the train. It was a really good day, but I am absolutely shattered today. I planned today as a rest day, but I didn't think I would be quite this tired. Like I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm gonna look at myself. I've got some bags. So tired. and my eyes are really dry and itchy, which is because the 2 weeks between gymnastics and this week, which is our rest week, off to a great restful start going to the beach on Monday. The children did swimming lessons at the leisure center, and I got them in back-to-back classes, and I think with what I know now, if I was doing it again, I would try to get them in offset classes, so one class and then skip a class and then the next class, so that I could go outside and have half an hour without my mask on and fresh air and cool down, because you're wearing the masks, which, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like it. After a while I feel really stressed when I'm wearing a mask, so I'm just gonna avoid crowds and people and everything, especially because I get really hot, and it's really hot in the leisure center because they heat it, and it's really humid. I don't do well with humidity, and so we go in, and it was Catherine first, my 4-year-old, so we sent her off to her lesson, and the other one, my 8-year-old, and I sat and watched, which meant I couldn't even relax because I was still momming. So we sat together and watched, and I brought coloring books and various things. And then after 20 minutes of the half-hour class, they asked everybody to go down and sit in the changing area in their own, in your own stall. And then when the class finished, after the 10 minutes, they brought the kids to the changing area. And in that time, they clean all the stadium seats, and then they can start letting the families in for the next class, so they can sit down and if you need to get changed and stuff like that before going to the pool. So there's a 10-minute window between the swimming lessons, and then my 8-year-old would go off to her swimming lesson while I got the 4-year-old washed and dressed, and would take her up to sit in the stands and watch the swim lesson. And it was just really hot and claustrophobic, and I did not enjoy it very much. But then most days we went to the floral hall after, and I loved the floral hall. We used to go there so much. We used to live a little closer. And with my 8-year-old, from the time she was 1, we were in swimming lessons at least once a week. And then sometimes we go swimming a second time because we just loved going swimming. And then afterwards we go to the floral hall and have lunch and run around because it's a safe place. It's enclosed, and there's flowers, and it's beautiful and shady, and there are sunny places, and there's a little play area in the back for the kids. So we would go there. I'm gonna cough, so I'm just gonna pause this, but we would go there at least once or twice a week from the time Christina was my 8-year-old was 1. Hold on. Sorry about that. There are now children running around in my back garden, so you will probably, I'm looking at the wrong person, you will probably hear screaming. But it was really nice to get back to the floral hall, even after we moved up to this house, which is a bit further away. We were still going to the floral hall at least a couple, 5-6 times a year. And then the last 2 years, we hadn't been there, so it was really nice to get back. And some of the people who work there are still there, and they remember us, and they're like, "Oh, it's you! Oh my God, how big your children have gotten!" Which they really shoot up when you don't, if you don't watch kids, they get so much taller. Yeah, so that was really nice, but I came home every day from that shattered. I was okay in the morning, but by the time I got home, I was just, microwave dinners and sitting on the chair going blah, 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 blah. So I wasn't getting much knitting done. And while we were there, I'd be lucky in the 90 minutes that we were at the swimming pool, I'd be lucky I could get 2 stripes done. Whereas during gymnastics, I was getting 5 stripes done. So my knitting did slow down a lot. But it was completely worth it because my kids, they came home the first one and they were just like, "Wow, that was so much fun. I loved it so much. Did you see me? Did you see the things I was doing? Let me tell you all about the swimming." They were so excited. They loved it so much. And at the end of the 2 weeks, my 8-year-old has moved up. She was doing back crawl class. She's moved up to the front crawl class. my 4-year-old is still in the swim confidence level, which makes sense because I told the teacher on the first day, she basically has never been swimming. She's been in a pool when she was a babe in arms. But yeah, she was really doing well and was trying really hard and was having a lot of fun. So they're both doing really, really well. And I've got them on wait lists because the next 2 weeks I've signed them up for trampoline lessons, which is in the morning. So I've got them on wait lists for the swim classes in the afternoon. So with my older one, it's either the back crawl again or the front crawl, whatever I can get her into. And then my other one, I'm just trying to get her into the swim start confidence class. But we're on wait lists and we'll see if any spaces open up. When I book classes, I deliberately try not to put us into too much stuff or to be greedy, because normally in the before times, they would have run 8 swimming classes all at the same time. And now, because of distancing, they're only running 2 swimming classes at a time. So, only a fourth as many people can be in any given swimming class. If I booked up the whole summer of swimming classes, then other people might not get a chance to be any one at all. So I did deliberately I booked them in different things. I tried not to book them in too many things. I tried not to be too greedy about what we're doing. But they like swimming a lot, so I will see if I can get them in a spot for the next. And then we could do trampolining, have a break, oh my goodness. And then do swimming. Fingers crossed, we'll see. It may or may not happen. I can probably get us into the pool one day, even if I can't, the just regular splash pool, swimming pool, even if we can't get into the swim classes. But it's something I know they like, so I know we can pursue that in what hopefully will be the after times and not the return of the lockdown times. I think that's everything. It's a bit noisy outside. I am so tired. Oh my goodness. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for sticking with me. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, I hope you have a good, however long the span of time is. It is 3 weeks of summer holidays left, and then they're back at school on the 4th week. So it might just be another month before I can record. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Bye.